Thanks for staying with us. Let me take the Niger junta. Odamala, you ready?
No.
Let me take the Niger junta. So ECOWAS court in Abuja will, on December 7th, deliver its ruling on interim measures in a case between the state of Niger and 7 others and the authority of the heads of state, ECOWAS, and 2 others. The court fixed the date, December 7th. According to the lawyer, the Nigerian lawyer, Mr. Mukaila Yayi, and 5 others argue that the sanctions imposed by ECOWAS, led by the Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, have occasioned adverse effects on the Nigerian people, including shortage of food, medicine, electricity, due to the closure of borders and cut off electricity by Nigeria. They're also saying that the suspension said that the respondents said that ECOWAS overreacted by imposing the sanctions, which were not successful, and that Niger was treated unequally and unfairly compared to other 3 member states, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea. So the hearing of the case will be, the judgment will be heard December 7th, and we're waiting for that. Okay, another story in Punch. Okay, let's move on now. So, you have a story?
Yes,
go ahead,
I have a story here. Punch is reporting that there is a fresh naira scarcity in Kano, Sokoto, Edo, and others, and they're saying that despite recent assurances by the Central Bank of Nigeria that there is enough naira in circulation, and they are reporting that despite these assurances, there is still scarcity. And they said in some Lagos ATMs, the machines were only paying 5,000 naira to non-customers and 10,000 naira to the customers of the bank. And even if you go into the bank, you will not be able to withdraw over 20,000 naira per time. And this is also happening in Kano, happening in Edo. Even the POS operators have increased their charges by 50%, while some of them are complaining that they can no longer get lump sums. So that's the meat of the story. It's a whole lot, but I just picked the meat of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, the police put tear gas on the protesters who are trying to shield the Osun CJ. You know, the governor of Osun State had suspended the CJ, yeah, but then retraced and appointed an acting CJ, but you know that one rejected. So anyway, she went to resume office yesterday, and the protesters were there. The judiciary workers were accusing her of abuse of office.
Okay.
And so they were all there to protest. When the police now descended on the protesters, dispersed them, and everyone is accusing the police that, why didn't you allow them to protest?
Okay, moving on now to Daily Sun. Osun, Edo, Adamawa, no. Osun, Edo, Anambra, Kano top 2023 electoral offenders list. Feel we have supplies to last beyond Christmas, Kyari tells Senate. Nigeria facing worst economic crisis, says Rep. Court declares Buhari's appointment of FCC's chairman secretary unlawful. Kano Guba NNPP protest urges NJC to review court rulings. FG moves to unlock $300 billion in deed capital via land reforms. Okay, which story in the Daily Sun?
The Daily Sun. So is this about the appointment made by the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, that he had appointed the FCC chairman and secretary? This happened April 28th. He had appointed Nkaka, who hails from Kwara State, as the chairman of the FCC. There's a Federal Character Commission for a 5-year tenure, and then also they appointed the secretary, the FCC secretary, April 14th, and he's Bello Tukur. And this came before the court, and yesterday the Federal High Court, Abuja, says that the appointments were null and void, described as unlawful and therefore null and void. He says the reason why is that you cannot appoint 2 people from the same region in that office. That's a dual appointment, and it shows that the 9th Assembly did not follow, you know, the proper set of protocols for those appointments, and neither did the former president as well. So, there we are.
So Mele Kyari, that's the CEO of NNPCL, paid a courtesy visit to the Senate yesterday. He saw the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and he told them that they have sufficient PMS to last through the Ember months and the New Year festivities. According to him, he says, we have made robust plans for the forthcoming end-of-year festivities and beyond. We do not see any shortages in the petroleum products supply for the period. And then, so it was a courtesy visit, and Kyari also said that NNPCL is targeting profit increase of 2 trillion naira when the 2022 audited financial statements are released, adding that since July this year, the company has started paying dividends to its shareholders. This time I wish I was a shareholder of NNPC. Okay,
honestly.
The court has granted the former CBN governor bail. You have the story?
No, go ahead. Okay, so in regards to the 1.2 billion naira fraud trial, the former governor of CBN, Emefiele, has gotten a 300 million naira bail, but he's still being restricted to Abuja, and according to the Sun, he has not been able to perfect his bail conditions. So until he can perfect the bail conditions, he will still be remanded in the correctional facility in Abuja. So that's just the meat of the story.
He needed 2 shorties.
Yes, yeah.
He needs 2 shorties with, I think, landed property in Abuja.
That's a lot of money.
So
Vanguard.
can't run.
Kano, we stand by our verdict, sacking Governor Yusuf, says appeal court. Israel-Hamas conflict has gone from war to terrorism, says Pope Francis. Under political crisis, intervene now in Fashion file, tells Tinubu. Why I deserve to be listed in Guinness World Records, says Tinubu. About gridlock, truckers defy Sanwo-Olu's directive, return and block the road. Ex-CBN Governor Emefiele gets 300 million naira bail. Okay, which story are we starting with in Vanguard?
Who took their Papa story?
Papa gridlock, who has that story? No one?
I wanted to take it, but when I couldn't find it exactly.
Oh,
Yes,
let me talk about our president and Guinness World Records. So our president has said he deserves to be listed in the Guinness World Records for the reforms introduced since assuming office May 2023. Tinubu stated that during his time as governor of Lagos State, he moved the state from 0 to becoming the 5th largest economy on the continent, adding that his track record prepared him for the presidency. The president made this during the Nigerian Business Forum in Berlin, Germany. For those who fear various obstacles, look at me. I come from the private sector, and I'm one of you, trained by Deloitte. I served as, he was just going through, I governed Lagos for 8 consecutive years. Today, I can proudly beat my chest that Lagos State is on the horizon and the 5th largest economy. So he believes that he should, to me, if you didn't mention me in the beginner's book of records, I didn't strive to find a way to insert myself because I did it without expectation. My inaugural speech disclosed that what I would do. I actually thought the inaugural speech was a slip, but it's looking as if it was intentional, where he said, subsidy is gone. I thought it was a slip, one of those slips. I go, okay. You shouldn't have said that, but he's from what he's saying, I think it was intentional to say it's gone. I guess, let's
yes,
end that story in Vanguard.
Yes, in Nakura, the Chief Olufalaye and Ruben Fashion, they have urged the president to intervene between Ayedatiwa and Akeredolu. They said the state is suffering. There are too many lacunas because the governor is not there. The deputy governor is not allowed to take a position. So please.
If I talk now, they say I'm male bashing. Ego again. These are egos. Make it quiet. Okay.
No, you are not male bashing. It could happen between 2 women as well.
Okay.
But this happens all the time in Nigeria. It happened with Yaradua and
Jonathan.
Jonathan was not allowed to take over.
Yeah.
While Yaradua
meanwhile, the Constitution states exactly how
this has even gone beyond that. This is 2 adults that talking about loyalty, whose interest is who, and so it's gone a bit deeper than about the fact that when he was going for medical leave and who took over.
Buhari and Oshibajo.
Okay, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. These political conversations. This is worth moving. Nigerian Tribune, please. Sack of Kano governor. Appeal court cites clerical error in the CTC as youth protest in Kano. I think Wike took that story. FG plans 75 billion naira loan to 1.5 million poor Nigerians as First Lady launches market money. ECOWAS Parliament 6 review of sanctions on Niger Republic. Poor nutrition can damage child's brain, says nutritionist. Senate seeks probe into the $500 million CCTV contract in FCT. An industrial court restrains Osun judges from taking up acting CJ position. Okay, which story?
Anyone? Okay.
The nutrition, did you take it?
Yes,
yeah,
I did.
Take it.
Okay, so a nutritionist, her name is Ms. Uju Onora, has said that poor nutrition in the first 1,000 days of a child's life can cause irreversible damage to the growing brain. She says that this damage is, could affect the child's ability to do well in school. And research has also shown that 80% of the child's brain development occurs within the first 1,000 days of life, making those years important for lifelong health, learning, and success. Also goes ahead to say that babies should be breastfed, breast milk, first 6 months of their lives, no water, no other foods. That's the best source of nutrition. And then during that time, a mother also needs to be eating a balanced diet. She talked about lean meat, high fiber foods, low dairy products, and plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. I know usually when we hear things like that, we're like, this Nigeria, she's talking about rich people. But I find that for those, in a lower socioeconomic class, for those that have access to food, usually even have a better diet than the very rich bourgeois people, because they are not, the sugars and all the processed foods are not so easily available or cheap for them. So they are eating foods that's grown, eat the meat that they are raising and things like that. So,
okay, so Senator Ned Nwoko has urged the FCT Minister, Chief Nyesome Wike, to investigate the implementation of the $500 million contract on the installation of CCTV cameras at the FCT. According to the report, this was adopted, was a motion that was adopted based on the Galadimawa kidnapping tragedy that happened recently. So Nwoko, in his lead debate, expressed concern on the recent kidnapping incident in Galadimawa area of FCT involving multiple individuals, including his senior legislative aide. Interesting. His senior legislative aide, Mr. Chris Agidi, he said 2 weeks ago a distressing incident unfolded when 19 individuals were forcefully taken from their homes in Galadimawa area of Abuja. He says upon receiving the distressing news, immediately measures were taken to place. But we've been hearing a lot of this kidnapping going on in Abuja. A lot of people will enter one chance, or what's that? Is it one chance? Yes, in the bus, and then they get it. So
the taxes.
Yes, they really need to get those CCTV cameras working. We have to roll. Let me see how much time we have. We don't have any much time. I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.